Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport again. I know I always start from this angle. It's not intentional. I have to actually start outside our shop to start the video because Verizon says they have the best coverage across the country. I agree, but for some reason in our steel structure, they don't really, I don't know, I just don't really get any signal. But anyways, not what the video is about. This is installing a water pump on a Detroit 60 series, part 2. Got the water pump out. It really wasn't that difficult, to be honest. Had to take off the intake, and then had to take off the bottom. Sorry for the light. The bottom hose, and then there was 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. 3 bolts. 15 millimeter, I believe. Anyways, you have to take out your dipstick tube. Obviously, the 3 bolts. You got 1 tube here. You got a coolant line here. Then there's another hydraulic or a high pressure line here, hydraulic line. And then there's another one that goes up to this. I took this off. I could have left the pipe in, and I'll show you the reason why I didn't. But anyways, it was extremely easy. Again, well, thank God we got our shop, man. It is a freaking mess. When I tear shit up, man, I just keep going at it. Anyways, this is our old one, obviously. Thank God for REI in Bridgeville, Illinois, because they don't require a core. I was wrong on my numbers as far as the Freightliner numbers. When I called Freightliner, this isn't Freightliner, this is from REI. Came well boxed, nice little wrapper on it, and it came with an actual like a bleeder valve or a release valve on the bottom, which our other one didn't have. Even though, like I said, it was my mistake for letting or having the residual water in it, but this pump was. It's seen its better days. So my guess is that it's original to the truck. And when I was pulling these fittings out, which you're going to want to do because the new one, this is a brand new unit, not a remanufactured from REI. It came with the O-ring, which I'll show you where it goes. It did not come with the hose. I bought that from Freightliner because the other one was so bad, and I think that I'm pretty sure the water had split it like that. But actually, I don't know if it did because it didn't go. It wasn't. Oh yeah, it was through the inside. Anyways, so you can see, and whoever put that on, it must have gone bad in the past because this hose was too big for the bottom of the water unit or the water pump. Anyways, when I was pulling the fittings off, I had it in our vise, and I put the cheater bar in there to hold it. Why? Because these big fittings were pretty difficult to get out. I had to get them out with a pipe wrench. Anyways, and when I put the cheater bar in there, when I was pulling at it, this whole piece busted right off. So thank God for REI that they don't require a core, because Freightliner for that water pump wants $375. Plus $170 core, and obviously the $375 and some changes before taxes, so add another 6% on there for Wisconsin, and you're over $400. This unit from REI was $300, and they ship all around the world. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it's free shipping on all their stuff. There might be a small fee, but I'm pretty sure it's free shipping. Again, REI Bridgeville, Illinois, call JR or talk to Bill over there. They're really nice guys. So, like I said, the unit was $300. didn't have to worry about the core, and I was able to just drive over and get it. They would have shipped it for free to us, but I needed it today, so I think it probably would have been 1 or 2 day delivery. But anyways, I'm babbling. So, like I said, the unit came out pretty easy, actually. When you pull these bolts, I would recommend not using an impact. I would break them loose first with a regular ratchet and a socket. They're not seized in there. And there's no gasket. So basically the O-ring will just sit inside the oil housing. And then everything else is all hoses. So there is no gasket. So you don't have to worry about a gasket. So that was pretty much that. I'm super excited. Another thing I did was, these were the lines. These were the old lines. And what I did was I took a wire brush and I wire brushed all 3 lines. This one goes up on top of the block where that elbow is, the rubber elbow. And then the other one goes around the front area. Anyways, you don't need to see where it goes, right? And then that smaller one goes behind here up to there. So what these, when we did this thing, and I know it's stainless steel, so it's going to be more expensive, but it's a short pipe from the bottom of the radiator, goes down and makes one turn, and it didn't come with the valves or the plug. So just the pipe alone was over $400. And I know because it's stainless steel, you're going to pay extra. But these pipes are not cheap, man. I mean, those 3 pipes, this one and those 2 there, I'd have to say close to $800, if not $1,000. I didn't price them at Freightliner, and again, try to stay away from the dealerships if you can. Try to shop eBay or used truck places, but they cleaned up really nice, and they were rusted pretty bad. But this is the perfect time when you do stuff like this to check all your hoses. Clean the insides, clean all the rust debris on all the corners of the pipes. Wipe out the inside of all your hoses. Wipe off the outsides. Clean all your parts with gasoline or brake cleaner. Wipe them all down. Get all the oil and stuff off of them. If you take pride in your equipment, it's going to last longer, right? So, and then on the ground there, that skinny tube, that's the dipstick tube. That's just a compressed fitting. You got to put a wrench on the nut, on this nut right here, and then another one there's another fitting on the dipstick tube, and then it comes right off. It came off very easy. So I would recommend definitely taking it out. You don't necessarily, actually I think you do need to. You may be able to pull it straight out and lift it, but why take the chance of breaking your tube? That's pretty thin. So remove that. Like I said, I already explained everything that comes out. Comes out very easy, like I said. So now I'm going to put it back together, and then I'll do a part 3 on putting everything, or once it's all back together, and once we top it off with coolant. And like I said, I know it was my fault for keeping the water in there. Just that little bit of residual water, man, really, it really kind of screwed me on it. But anyways, like I said, thank God for RER because they don't require a core. Freightliner does. So if you look at the 375, you're over $400 for the water pump, and that's a remanufactured. These are brand new. They're not remanufactured; they are brand new. And then obviously, if you don't have a good core, if you made a mistake like I did, or the unit's old and it broke, you're going to pay another $170, a little over $170, and I think you might even have a tax on that. So you're looking at over $600 or around $600, or REI free shipping $300. And they do a bunch of other stuff. Like I said, we did a compressor video. They do starters and all kinds of stuff. Just look them up, Bridgeview, Illinois. Talk to JR or Bill. Tell them that Kurt from Time Machine Transport sent you or gave you their info. And like I said, I'll do a last and third video on the water pump after installed and when it's up and running. Hopefully this video is helpful. And if you like it, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic. I don't pretend to be a mechanic, but this kind of stuff here is pretty easy if you have the shop, or even if you don't. If you have the proper tools, you can, set up we got a big torpedo heater and whatever. You can do it outside wherever you park your equipment. I would imagine this water pump, I don't know, probably $500-600, and the installation would probably cost you $5 to, I don't know. I don't know what truck stops would cost for. I try to stay away from them because they gouge the hell out of us. But I'd probably imagine $500-800. It's probably going to be a 4 or 5 hour thing, for somebody to take it apart and put it in. And of course they're BSing you, so they're going to take their time. So figure 5 to 7 hours at $100 and some bucks an hour. Do the math. So you're, with the parts and everything, you're well over $1,000. You're into $1,300-1,400. And if it goes on the road, you don't take care of your equipment, you're looking at a tow fee. And tows can, I've paid $1,100 for a tow already off the road. And I paid as little as $300. So actually I've paid $600 one time going 6 miles from Gallup, New Mexico, from mile marker 21 to the mile marker 16 to the TA in Gallup, New Mexico. Cost us $600. So anyways, I'm gabbing again. I apologize. Once again, hope this video finds you well. And like I said, like and subscribe to the channel. God bless.